guys, this is Eliza and welcome back to a new video. So today I'll be talking about all the books that I read in the month of September. So while I feel like I didn't do that much reading, mainly because I physically read like... Did I physically read anything this month? Okay, I read 2 physical books, 3 graphic novels, and the rest of them were all audiobooks. While it feels like I didn't read that much because I wasn't physically reading that much, I did also finish 14 books in the month of September. So to me, I feel like I wasn't reading, but I was listening to audiobooks and I read 3 graphic novels, so that helped. I'll be reading a lot of graphic novels in the month of October because I'm participating in Graphics-a-thon. I will leave the information to that down below. It is a readathon. I'm also participating in Color-a-thon, which is a month-long readathon. So between the two, I'm hoping I get some reading done. But yeah, Graphics-a-thon will be where most of the books come from this month because graphic novels I can read like 4 or 5 in a freaking day if I really tried. So hopefully most of them will be graphic novels. On to the books that I read, going in order of when I finished them. Firstly, we have Next Girl to Die by Dia Perroy. I'm still not sure how to pronounce that. Let me move over so I can put the cover here. So this one I listened to on audiobook and I've read this one for a challenge for Bookopoly-a-thon. I haven't actually done a Bookopoly wrap up, but I did mention in my blog post wrap up what challenges I finished what books for. So if you're curious, it's down there, but I couldn't be bothered doing a Bookopoly wrap up. I didn't do that well in it, so you know. Anyways, I did read Next Girl to Die. I didn't love it. This is an adult mystery. It was pretty good, but it wasn't an absolute favorite. It didn't like blow my mind or anything, but I did rate it 4 stars, so it was pretty good. I am curious to continue the series because this is a series set basically on a small island where this detective moves back to the island to solve a crime that is very similar to what happened to her sister many years ago. Definitely intriguing synopsis. I did enjoy it. Wasn't an absolute favorite, but it was unpredictable. It was interesting, so I do recommend it. So next I finished The Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton. This is one I physically read. I started this in August and I finished it in September, and I had this one from the library, so I don't have a copy to show you, but here is the cover anyway. So this one I ended up rating 3.5 stars. It's basically about this girl whose great-great-grandmother or whatever she was left a curse on the island that ended up affecting her descendants, and Rona, which convenient name right now, is one of her descendants, and she's just basically trying to live a normal life until this book comes out that's basically promising any spell at a cost. Yeah, shit goes down because of that. It is an interesting book. I enjoyed the setting, but I just wasn't as invested as I thought it was going to be. I have reviewed this one, so I'll leave it linked down below, but I just wasn't overly impressed with it. There was a few things that annoyed me. It was kind of jumpy. There was parts that didn't make sense, so yeah. Didn't end up loving it as much as I thought it was going to, but it wasn't horrible either, so I ended up rating it 3.5 stars. Next we have Loveboat Taipei. Who's the author for this? Freaking mind blank. Abigail Hing Wen. I read Loveboat Taipei on audiobook, which this one I read because I needed a YA contemporary for a challenge for the readathon. So I picked up this one because I'd seen it on Scribd and decided to save it because I was interested, like kind of interested. I'd heard, was it Haley and Bookland talking about it? I think. It might have been her, I'm not sure. Anyway, I heard a booktuber talking about it and they said it wasn't too bad, so I'd saved it on Scribd, and then when I needed YA contemporary, I was just scrolling through Scribd and it was there and I listened to it. I actually enjoyed this one more than I kind of thought I was going to. The romance wasn't too bad. I enjoyed the overall plot though. It was really intriguing. There was a lot of like backstabbing and stuff going on, which was intriguing, but also I kind of don't agree with how she forgave a person at the end. Like, I'm not gonna spoil this, but like, really? She did that to you and you're gonna forgive her? Like, fuck, I wouldn't. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm not as good a person as she is. I have no idea, but fuck, I wouldn't. Not if that had happened. No. But anyways, so yeah, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed its reading experience overall, so I ended up rating it 4 stars. Next we have Dead Voices by Catherine Arden. This is the second book to Small Spaces, which is a middle grade horror series, and I am really enjoying it so far. These are fun, very creepy actually. Like, the first one was creepy because, you know, we're dealing with scarecrows, so that can be creepy anyway, but this one kind of took the creepiest to a whole other level, and it was weird because I actually read another book that felt very similar to this later in the month, but a little bit more extreme because it was YA and it was a little more that there was actually deaths and stuff, not just middle grade horror, which is kind of toned down a little bit because it's for the younger reader. But that book is Even If We Break, and in both of those books, I'll talk about that one in a minute, but in both those books, these characters are stuck in a cabin and they're basically trying to escape. One of them is paranormal, which is dead voices. It is actually fantasy. Whereas Even If We Break, it was a real person that was setting this up, but very similar vibes, like stuck in a cottage where like somewhere in the woods where it's far away from civilization and they're trying to escape and they're trying to survive. Very similar vibes, and I enjoyed both of them actually. But I really enjoyed Dead Voices and I really enjoyed the audiobook for them, and I'm super keen to see what is going to come out next in that series because I think there's 4 books in the series. I'm not sure if we have a cover or anything for this 3rd book. I'm not sure. If we do, I'll pop it on the screen and end up giving that one 4 stars. Next we have Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton. This is a book that I reread, and I reread it on audiobook. I read this one a very long time ago and loved it then. I believe I rated it 5 stars originally, I think, but this was the very first review I wrote on my blog, so I wasn't exactly as critical back then as I am now. But I did really enjoy the reread of it. It was also very like nostalgic kind of as well because it's been years since I read this. But I'm also, my mum listened to this and the second book. I haven't got to the second book yet in my reread, but she listened to the first and the second book and then DNF the third one. So it'll be interesting to see how I feel about the third one by the end of this because, like I said, it was a long time ago and I'm a lot more critical reader now that I've read a lot more books, whereas back then I hadn't read as many, so I had less to compare it to, if that makes sense. I did read Rebel of the Sands. I rated 4.5 stars for the reread, but we'll see how we go for the rest of the books in the series. Next I read Indigo Owl by Charlie Archibald. This one I read for a review tour on my blog. This was run by OzYA bloggers, and also thank you to Wakefield Press for sending out the books for the review tour. I will leave my review link down below, but I ended up actually really enjoying this one. I didn't know what to expect because I literally heard nothing about it. The synopsis sounded really interesting, but I ended up rating this 4.5 stars. Couldn't remember if it was 4.5 or 5, but I ended up rating it 4.5 stars. This did, however, end as if there could be a sequel, but there's not a sequel right now, so I want more in this world. I'm curious to see where this goes from here, but this is a YA sci-fi. So in this one, basically we follow Scarlet, who is going away to a university to hone her powers, which are, psychic solitaire talents is the technical term for it. I'm sorry if you heard the banging, my cat just jumped in an empty box. It's a cat, you know how it goes. The problem with owning multiple animals is if you yell at one of them, they don't know that the other ones are being yelled at. Where are you? Now Roxy's sitting down behind me because she thinks she's in trouble. And I was yelling at Possum for being loud. Anyways, she travels to this institute, and on the doorstep as her father is leaving, he tells her a secret about her mother and that she might have had enemies and that Scarlet needs to be careful. She then finds out that her mother had secrets and that there could be a plot even bigger than her mother and what she knows. So basically it's her trying to figure out what happened to her mother and also what the hell is going on, because there is a lot going on. Like this is a pretty hectic book. Yes, planet-wide conspiracy is how it's described. Really, really interesting. Would be really keen to read another book set in this world. Actually, it is really well developed and fleshed out, which is surprising because it's standalone. Like, that's it. That's all you get. But like, there was a lot of development. There was a lot of character building. There was a lot of basically everything in this book. And that's why I really enjoyed it. Like I said, rated at 4.5 stars. I would definitely be intrigued to read more by this author though. Even if it's not set in this world, I'm intrigued. So next we have Misfit City Volume 1 and Volume 2. I read both of these. Misfit City Volume 1 was a reread, but I wanted to reread it before I continued on to Volume 2 because it has been a fair while since I read Misfit City Volume 1. But I really enjoyed it. There's basically this group of characters who are super diverse and they go on the quest to find pirate treasure. So yeah, super intriguing. They live in this like tiny town where this really popular TV show was filmed. So everything's like touristy and stuff. I really enjoyed it. It is really fun. There's, like I said, diverse range of characters. I really enjoy the artwork. We swapped from one book to another just then. Pirate treasure, like I really enjoyed this. I wish there was more, but it wrapped up. So I don't think there's gonna be more, but I wish there was more. Oh, and I rated these both 4.5 stars. So next we have Nick and Charlie by Alice Oseman. This is a companion to the Heartstopper graphic novels. If you don't know what Heartstopper is, it's basically this really cute relationship about Nick and Charlie. That's basically all it is, and it is amazing. So really cute if you're looking for something that's just like fun and cute and gay. Here we are. And this is a companion. It's super short. I listened to it on audiobook though, and I really enjoyed it. And there is also illustrations throughout, which I didn't realize at the time of listening to it. So I ended up going back and flipping through the illustrations and having a look at them all. Definitely recommend if you're a fan of the Heartstopper graphic novels. And also the audiobooks of all Alice Oseman's books are really good and they're really well done. So especially Radio Silence. Really good. Next we have All Your Twisted Secrets by Diana Urban. This is another one I listened to on audiobook. This is a YA thriller kind of mystery bit thriller. I'm not sure what exactly is in the synopsis, so if I cut off randomly it's because I'm saying too much. But basically this group of teenagers gets invited to a dinner type thing to get a scholarship. But it turns out it was a trap and they get locked in this room and there is a bomb and they have to try and escape. Also, forgot to mention for this book, literally one of the main plot points, don't know how I forgot it, but as well as a bomb in the room, they are also left with a syringe and told they have an hour to choose someone to kill. A little bit crazy, you don't know who set this plan up, and like the reveal at the end, I was literally floored. This is amazingly written, so well written for a thriller. And also the audiobook is really good. I really enjoyed the narration. It was really gripping and engaging and I really enjoyed it. I ended up rating this one 5 stars. This one and one graphic novel, like they tee off for like the top books I read in September. Full like legitimate novel read. All the Twisted Secrets is definitely the favorite book for September. So next we have Even If We Break, which is the one I mentioned before. Like I said, teenagers stuck in a cabin. Okay, so I'm gonna jump in here again for a synopsis. But this one, I explained a little bit too much because like literally the synopsis is like nothing. So anything I explained is spoiler basically. So the synopsis literally says 5 friends go to a cabin, 4 of them are hiding secrets, 3 years of history bind them, 2 are doomed from the start, 1 person wants to end this, no one is safe, are you ready to play? That's all it says. It's hectic, it's creepy as hell. You're like, is there someone in the room with them right now? Like, it's creepy. And also did not guess who it was in the end. So yeah, ended up rating it 4 stars, but I really enjoyed it. And also the audiobook, like I said, really creepy audiobook. I love audiobooks for thrillers and stuff because it makes it that 10 times creepier if the narrator does it well, which this one is. So highly recommend the audiobook. Next we have the Tea Dragon Festival, which is the other one that I rated 5 stars. This is the sequel to the Tea Dragon Society, and this is a super fun, super cute, super diverse graphic novel series, which is basically about these tiny little dragons called tea dragons that people look after. And this one actually features a real dragon that can shapeshift into like a, he's not human, but like a humanish form, which like all the characters are like humanish. They have like animal characteristics, but human-ish. This is super cute. I can't wait to read the Tea Dragon Tapestry, which is the 3rd book in the series, and I'm hoping to read it during Graphics-a-thon. But I love this. It is so cute and just amazing. Next we have Avacurse by Corey Ann Hadou. This one I did listen to on audiobook, but obviously I own the physical book as well. This one sounds really intriguing, and I'll actually quickly read the synopsis because like that's literally it. It says, once upon a time there were 5 enchanted princesses, 1 witch in search of justice, 1 queen trapped in a glass box, and a quest to find. A clock from the oldest, a tear from the saddest, a lock of hair from the most beautiful, a crown from the richest to break the curse. But the kingdom of Ever is under a spell far more threatening than any cast by a witch. This was actually really good. I ended up rating it 4.5. I'm not sure. I'll have to like think about that one a little bit. There's a lot of references to like sexual assault and rape and stuff, and also it is actually directly talked about rape. So yeah, it is a little bit dark at times, like just yeah, content warning if you're not comfortable with any of that stuff, don't recommend it. But it is really good and I really enjoyed it, and it was really intriguing. I really enjoyed the world and also just the characters developing and learning from both their mistakes and also from each other as well. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. There was a strong like friendship kind of vibe here. Like there was the family vibe as well, but it kind of breaks off and becomes more of a friendship vibe, which I really enjoyed. So yeah, really enjoyed this one, and the audiobook is really good, so highly recommend. Then lastly, I listened to the audiobook for The Hate You Give, which I watched the movie for this one in in September, and after watching the movie, I went to go back and read the book, which I did. I listened to an audiobook, and quick review for the movie, I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it. It was a good movie, but when you compare it to the book, it annoyed me a little bit. Mainly, like, the main thing that really annoyed me, actually there was two things that really annoyed me. If you don't know spoilers for this book, once this book is down, you can come back. But the main thing that annoyed me is the scene where Khalil died. So in the book, he was unarmed, he cooperated with the police, he was getting out of the car when like the cop dragged him out of the vehicle even though he was already cooperating. He didn't reach for anything. You know, that was kind of the whole point. Like, either way, whether he was being obnoxious or, you know, agreeing with the cop and going along with whatever he's asking them to do, still didn't deserve to die. But the thing that annoyed me the most is that was the whole point of this, is that he wasn't doing anything at the time and the cop shot him. Whereas in the movie, he played up, he was obnoxious to the cop, he argued with the cop. Still doesn't justify it, but it just annoyed me that they made him out to be a bit of a dick, and then he gets shot because he was being a bit of a dick. But like, that wasn't the point of the book. So yeah, that kind of annoyed me. And also the scenes with, what is his name? Star's partner? Chris. So yeah, the scenes between Star and Chris. In the book, he is super supportive. He does what she needs him to do, and he comes along during the riots and everything, even though he's probably shit scared and he's like literally the only white guy there. But, you know, he comes along and he's supportive, and that makes such a difference to her. And I love that part of the book, but that wasn't really there in the movie. Like, he was there for her to talk to, but when it actually came to that last scene where they go into the riots, she tells him to go and take the sisters home. I can't remember what their name is. But, so he's not in any of that. Like, he's not in the entire last part of the book, which annoyed me when he was there during it. Like, he got stuck in the store when it burnt down. He was there for it. There was like this bonding moment between Chris and Star's father, which was hilarious. He was shitting himself, but like, that wasn't there. None of that was there, which annoyed me. And what the fuck was that scene with the kid with the gun? Like, Star's little brother with the gun. What was that? Like, what was that? I don't understand that scene at all. I don't know where that came from. There was nothing about Star's little brother having a gun in The Hate You Give, like in the book. So yeah, while I enjoyed it as a movie, comparing it to the book, I was like, wait, what? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about if you've watched the movie and like comparing it to the book. Just let me know what you guys think, because I'm confused. And also the scene where, sorry, I'm like rambling at this point, but also the scene where Star's father's store burns down and we all know it was King, and like in the movie he was arrested, but like the whole scene where everyone, you know, says I saw him even though none of them saw him, just like everyone was snitching, so snitching didn't matter anymore. Like, it wasn't snitching as literally everyone was doing it. Like, that was a big part as well. And that, they kind of just breezed over that and chucked him in a cop car and off we went. But like, yeah, anyways, I don't know. I feel like the important, like the really important parts of the book were missed, or like they weren't quite done as well as the book did it. As I said, good movie on its own, but when comparing to the book, it's like most of them, like Ready Player One, it's a good movie by itself. When you compare it to the book, you're like, what the fuck happened? Like, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. It kind of annoyed me, but you know, I rated the book 5 stars. This is my 3rd reread of it. I love it. But what? Like, I don't know. Anyways, enough rambling. That is all the books that I read in the month of September. Let me know about the Hate You Give movie and what you thought of it. But also let me know what the best book was that you read in September. That is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys enjoyed my little bit of a rant for the Hate You Give there. And I'll see you guys in my next video.